as part of the process of getting your trees taken outside, you have to get the nut off. If you leave that nut on, you may get slightly better tree results. I'm not sure about that. But I can tell you one thing you have a chance of doing is, unless you have a squirrel-proof or rodent-proof cage that you're putting these things in, which some of you have built, and maybe I should, but I haven't, and they will dig the whole tree up. They will grab this, and instead of chopping this off for you, they will pull the whole tree up, and you end up finding your tree 10 feet away, roots exposed, dirt off of them, and the nut gone. So I just cut it off. That's going to be thrown away. They will do just fine. These trees are going to do just fine. This one's growing an extra sprout. I don't like extra sprouts. I'm cutting that off. And I'm cutting this off. This one's down deep somewhere there. Still has another one attached. Look at that giant nut. Wow. Gonna be a good tree, maybe. This one, dampened off, dead tree. This one's struggling. I have never found a way just to completely prevent dampening off. Dampen off. I'm not sure what the plural is. All right. Next, I'll take you outside and show you where I select my site. Once you have your trees sprouted and you're ready to take them outside, you cannot take them from artificial light and then put them immediately out in full sun, even though ultimately the tree wants full sun. There's a transition period to get used to the wind, to get used to full sun. Otherwise, your leaves are going to sunburn, leaves are going to blow off. So what you got to do is do a period of time called hardening off. If you grow these in greenhouses where they get natural sunlight, you may not need as long of a hardening off period. That's why the trees that you get from, or the small plants, the annual flowers, do so well from a greenhouse. But if you're like me, I don't have a greenhouse readily available. So I have to grow mine under artificial light. That's why I don't like growing them for 4 or 5 months under artificial light. They get leggy, they get disease, they struggle. They're not made for that. But for 6 to 8 weeks, that's what I do. I put them under the artificial light. Then you can start moving them towards a window that gets more sunlight. You can move them to a spot that gets partial shade or mostly shade for the first couple days. Let them get some wind, but not a lot of wind. So here's what I use for mine. You can see the sun starting to break out. We got just a little bit of sunlight shining through there. But overall, we got a cloudy day. This is a good day to bring the trees out. And what I've done is selected a spot that's behind this. This is eastward facing. So now we got eastward light. The eastward light will shine on them this morning. But by early afternoon or even noon, I have a canopy here for our back porch. And the back of this will start casting shade. So the whole afternoon, while that sun, even if it's blistering bright, the sun will not be directly on these leaves. And I will do that for at least a week before I'm ready to put them out. Even more preferable is 2 weeks. Let them get that kind of partial shade, partial sun. And they'll look great when they're ready to go out, and they'll be healthy, and they'll be ready to grow and ready to tolerate whatever process has to happen in their leaves to get them used to the full sun, get their sunscreen in, get that first burn. If you're pink like me, I don't tan easily, so I always got to get that first burn, and then it seems like I tan a little bit. Same thing with my oak trees. These are my English white oaks. These will be bare root trees available next spring. They're doing great. I'm going to harden these off. These are not as sensitive. Even though the chestnut tree doesn't need much work, once you get them in the ground and got them established, they don't need much. They don't need regular watering unless you live in the deep south where the irrigation will help. They don't have a huge number of pests other than blight, weevils, and a couple other things, the gall wasp and so forth. But they're not like apple trees with tons and tons of different pests. but they do require a lot of work to get them sprouted, prevent damping off, and then get them hardened off so they don't get sunburned, don't lose their leaves. So anyway, that's something I'd never really actively discussed. Post your comments if you have any questions below, if you have any comments on this or additional information to add to this. So thanks for watching us here at Lake Erie Chestnuts. I hope you're having good luck with your chestnuts. Get out there. Remember, if you're not growing, you're dying. Thanks for following us at Lake Erie Chestnuts.